You know, sometimes the most interesting ideas aren't buried in some dense academic paper. Sometimes they're hiding in plain sight, like inside a cookbook. And today, we're going to unpack the really unique food philosophy from this one, single, totally fascinating source.
Okay, so let's dive right in. This is it. This is the cookbook at the heart of our entire explainer. It was published back in Moscow in 2008, and the title translates to The Cuisine of Separate Eating. Now, at first glance, it looks pretty standard for its time, right? Bright colors, a nice picture of some ham and salad. But what's inside? Well, it's not just recipes. It's a whole system with some very, very strict rules.
Which, of course, brings us to the big question. What on earth is separate eating? It sounds a little mysterious, doesn't it? Well, that's exactly what we're here to break down.
So let's get into the core idea here, because this book is way more than just a collection of dishes. You should think of it as a practical guide to a very specific diet, one that actually has a surprisingly long history.
The whole thing is built around this concept called food combining. The central argument the author makes is that our bodies need totally different environments to digest different foods. Like one food might need a really acidic stomach, while another needs an alkaline one. And the theory goes, if you mix them, you basically create digestive chaos, a traffic jam in your stomach.
And listen, the rewards the book promises for following this system, they're huge. The author claims this isn't just about avoiding a little indigestion. No. This is presented as a way to strengthen your entire immune system, get your metabolism on track, and maybe even live longer. Those are some seriously big claims.
Okay, so how does this actually work in practice? This is where it gets really interesting. The entire system is built on these strict rules about what you can have on the same plate and, maybe more importantly, what you absolutely cannot.
So, here it is, the number one rule, the absolute foundation of this whole thing. On one side, you've got your concentrated proteins, things like meat, eggs, cheese. On the other side, you've got concentrated starches, bread, potatoes, pasta. The fundamental rule is you never eat these two groups together. Ever. And this is where the diet just flips the script on what we think of as a normal meal. Steak and potatoes? Forbidden. A simple cheese sandwich? Nope, can't do it. Chicken pasta? Absolutely not. Even something as basic as eggs on toast for breakfast is a major violation. So many of our favorite comfort foods are considered total digestive disasters here. And believe me, it doesn't stop there. The book lays out this whole web of other rules. You can't mix acidic fruits with proteins. Fats are a no-go with proteins either. Melons are treated like total loners. They have to be eaten completely separate from anything else. It's a really precise, really demanding way to eat.
Okay, so we've got the what, but you're probably wondering, where did these ideas even come from? Well, the book itself tries to answer that by claiming it has this deep historical and scientific legacy.
And right from the jump, the book wants you to take it seriously. I mean, right there in the introduction, it makes this bold statement saying, this isn't some trendy fad diet, but a balanced system of health improvement.
And to back that up, the book traces this very specific family tree for its ideas. It claims a lineage going all the way back to the 16th century physician Paracelsus, then it credits an American researcher Herbert Shelton for creating the modern system in the 1900s, and then it even brings in the famous Russian scientist Ivan Pavlov, suggesting his research on digestion gives the whole thing a scientific seal of approval. So ultimately, the whole argument just boils down to this. Eating a piece of meat with a side of potatoes is, according to this book, like telling your stomach to do two opposite things at the exact same time. The author argues that's just impossible, and that it leads to all sorts of bad stuff, from indigestion to poor health.
So, theory is one thing, but what does the food actually look like? I mean, what would you even eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Let's take a peek at the actual menu from The Cuisine of Separate Eating.
All right, check out the irony here. That meal on the cover, that nice-looking ham and salad, well, it would probably break the rules if the salad dressing had fat in it. Now, compare that to a perfectly legal recipe from inside the book, chicken in broth. It's literally just chicken cooked in broth, a pure protein meal, no clashes.
So, what's for breakfast? Well, you can forget cereal or toast. A suggested breakfast is this carrot and apple porridge. The ingredients are carrots, apples, and, get this, linden leaves. Notice what's missing? No grains, like oats, and definitely no dairy, like milk or yogurt. Is a pure fruit and veggie start to your day. For lunch, you might have something like this cauliflower soup. Now,
this really shows you the structure of the meals. Because it has potatoes in it, this is a starch-based dish. So you'd have to eat it as its own course, completely separate from any protein you might eat later on. And for dinner, hey, we could come back to our old friend chicken and broth. This is a perfect example of a protein meal. You'd eat the chicken, maybe with some non-starchy vegetables, but there would be absolutely no potatoes, no rice, no bread on the side. The protein gets the stage all to itself.
So after going through the rules, the history, and the recipes, what's the big takeaway here? What's the core philosophy of this really unusual cookbook? It's actually all about a major shift in focus.
It all boils down to this one really powerful idea. The book is basically arguing that we're all focused on the wrong things. You know, the vitamins, the calories, the macros. Instead, it proposes that true health is all about chemistry. It's about creating chemical harmony in your stomach by combining your foods with real care and intention.
And that leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to chew on, doesn't it? We spend so much time and energy thinking about what food to buy and eat. But this cookbook asks us to think about a totally different dimension of eating. Is good health about the ingredients we choose, or is it really all about the recipe we use to combine them? It's definitely something to think about.